A defensive rusher in this league is the most physically demanding position a player can have. It requires speed, strength, stamina, consistency, and mental toughness to be the best. It's the rusher's job to either sack the quarterback by pulling his flag or to put enough pressure on him to make a bad play. There are two markers set on the field. One is at the line of scrimmage and the other is 5 yards past that. A rusher must start from behind the second marker, otherwise it's a penalty. This position is not for the weak-hearted. The offensive center will do everything he can within the rules to make sure the quarterback stays safe. If you don't have strength, you're going to get flattened. If you don't have speed, you'll never get to the quarterback in time. If you don't have stamina, you won't last more than a few plays. I'm Danny from TUFF League TV, and this is TUFF Top 5's Best Spartan Division Rushers of the Summer 17 season. To make this list, we didn't just go by the amount of sacks a player made this season. A lot of different things went into consideration, and we did some serious statistical analyzing. We combined their season's total sacks with the amount of interceptions or bad plays they forced on the quarterback and how consistently they put pressure on throughout the whole season, as well as how hard or how easy their schedule was. There are some players who are high up on the leaderboards, but majority of those sacks came from lower level teams. There's also players who have 6 or 7 sacks on the season, but 5 of them came from a single game. We made this list based on players' performance throughout the entire summer season, not just 1 or 2 games. But after hours of scouring through game film, we came up with a list of the Spartan Division's top performing rushers. With that said, let's get right into it. Coming in at number 5 is Juan Rascon, number 7 of the Park Bums. This player deserves all the recognition that this list provides. He's a consistent and talented rusher. With 7 sacks on the season coming from 5 out of his 8 games, he is consistently in the backfield wreaking havoc. Not only that, but his team has 21 interceptions on the season, which means they have great cornerbacks but also pressure on the opposing quarterback. Juan Rascon is a big reason that the Park Bums are 8-0 this season. At number 4 we have Mikey the Hype Man Harris of the Cheetahs. Harris is not only a defensive leader, but he's just as fast as he is aggressive. Not to mention he might have the best stamina in all of the Spartan rushers. The Cheetahs are infamous for the double rush, and Harris has amazing rushing partners in Stephen Tilley and Ari Lovett. The 3 of them can be a quarterback's nightmare. Mikey Harris may only have 5 sacks on the season, but he is a relentless rusher and has consistently applied pressure on Spartan quarterbacks all season long. For that reason, we put him at number 4. Number 3, Marquise Black of the Pioneers. Number 3 on this list can be viewed as a controversial one due to Black only playing 4 games on the season. However, when Black was on the field, he was a force to be reckoned with. With 5 sacks through 4 games, that pace would have put him at the second leading rusher in the entire Spartan division. Not to mention that 3 of his sacks came against the 2-time defending champs, the Cheetahs. This rusher is just getting started, so definitely expect him to be the potential number 1 rusher in the fall season. Stay tuned to see if Marquise Black can bring the pressure in the playoffs. Coming in at number 2 is Katrina Nicholson of the Swordfish. Being one of the only females in this league, she's had a huge task this season to prove all the naysayers wrong. But in the words of Alicia Keys, Nicholson has 8 sacks on the season and she is relentless on the rush. She has been consistent all season long with sacks in 5 different games, and in the 3 games she did not tally a sack, her team recorded 8 interceptions, so you know she was pressuring the quarterback. Look for Katrina to keep making headlines as she helps lead her team through the playoffs. Before we get to the number 1 rusher in the Spartan division, we'd like to take a second for some honorable mentions. These guys may not have made the top 5, but they definitely deserve some recognition. Carlos Ruiz, number 5 of the Marshals. Ruiz is a standout rusher among the defensive stars. He's had 9 sacks on the season and his team had 17 total interceptions, so you know he was making quarterbacks feel the heat. Not to mention he's the second leading receiver for the undefeated Marshals. Another honorable mention is number 81 on the Pioneers, Daniel Breeze. He's had more sacks than his teammate Marquise Black, but Breeze has played all 8 games compared to Black's 4. He still deserves to be mentioned with 5 sacks and constant pressure all season long. And the last honorable mention, we want to give recognition to Bandits rushers number 5, Alan Cortez, and number 11, Richard Mata. The Bandits didn't have a great season, ending at 2-6, but Mata had 5 sacks on the season, and Cortez recorded 7 sacks, with 5 of them being against the number 1 team in the Spartan division, the Marshals. Look out for both Cortez and Mata in the fall season. They could both be a big factor in bringing the Bandits back to life. And now we arrive to the number 1 rusher for the entire Spartan division, and that's going to be Justin Herring, number 21 of the Aztecs. Herring led the Spartan division with 11 sacks, but that is not the only reason he's at the top of this list. 10 of his 11 sacks came against 3 division playoff teams. He had 3 sacks against the division's only 2 undefeated teams in the Marshals and Park Bums. Any top rusher also needs that one defining moment, and he had his against the Tomahawks with 7 sacks in a single game. Any rusher in this league that records 7 sacks in a single game has the potential to be a tough legend. Congrats to Justin for locking down the top spot on our list, as well as leading the Spartan division in sacks this season. I'm sure there's a lot of players out there who might disagree with this list, and other than the fact that the only statistic a rusher gets recorded are the sacks that are made, any top list is pure opinion. Like we said before, we took careful consideration into making this list. We looked at a bunch of factors other than recorded sacks and picked out who we thought were the standout rushers. Like it or not, that was the Tough Top 5's best Spartan Division rushers of the Summer 17 season. Be sure to check the other half of this video where we do the very same thing for the Titan Division. I'm Danny from Tough League TV, and we'll see you on the next Tough Top 5.